Actually, if I had any thunder at all, Dr. Rollins stole it because he did such a great job talking about the facilities. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's great. Yeah, he and I went out and about today and
Had a buzzer on you.
looked at Elmdale, and I'm telling you what, things were out there. They were out there on the 26th. Things are moving. It's going to look really good. Yeah, and they're working quickly, and they're not rushing. They're just working quickly, and they need to. But to go back to the SOI and Children's SNAP, it looks like everything's right on schedule within budget. Dr. Compton did a nice job providing you some information there, a breakdown. But it looks like everything is going to go pretty well. It's going to be very tight. In the middle of August, we're all going to be working very diligently and making sure everything's where it needs to be. And we may even take ownership of the property maybe before we have the final punch list done on both of those. But we're looking forward to that. And mid-August will be a heavy time for us, but it'll be fun. On down to number 3, the SHS athletic projects. Dr. Rollins did a good job as well. Imagine that, talking through that. No, it was great. But we are working on that. Brad Chilcote and Dr. Stein will be in to visit with me tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we're going to talk about master planning and some other things. So Dr. Compton's done a nice job at handing off this opportunity for me as well. The transportation department, we've got 140 plus buses that they're all going through to get ready for state inspection, maintenance and tires, and I mean they're working hard. Some things take a little bit more time than others, but as you know, in working on your own vehicles, we got to make sure that those things that kids are in are operational every day. They're doing a nice job. Kathy Launder will be in front of you in August to talk about a nurses report. I think she does that every year. But this year, there's going to be quite a lot to it. We've added some additional nurses over the past few years. A lot of work takes place in that arena. Dr. Compton mentioned to you last board meeting, I believe, the Arkansas Department of Health approaching us about a grant that they've written for the feds to make sure that, to work with children who may have TB and the community may have TB and working through that. So we're still on our way in making sure that partnership is solid. I haven't heard anything whether the Department of Health has gotten the grant yet or not, but expect to from Dr. Bates in the next weeks. So as that happens, Dr. Rollins will certainly know, and he'll be able to communicate with you at the appropriate time. Anybody have any questions? I'm not good questions. Who's doing our work at Elmdale? It is Ball and Shell, isn't it? Uh-huh. Okay. All right. I got a picture from Dr. Compton a few moments ago. He looks great. He said he was going to come over, hopefully make it by the end of the board meeting. That must be his medication talking. So anyway, thank you, board. Unless you have any questions, I'll sit down.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Jared. Kelly, you ready?
Good evening, Dr. Rollins and board. I have several items for your consideration this evening. The first item is traditionally, as you know, our school district looks at its expenditures for the year and revenue for the year and determines whether or not any salary adjustment can be made. Traditionally, that has happened at the end of the year for certified staff and commences at the beginning of the next school year for our classified staff. I believe that Dr. Rollins sent you some information about this adjustment. I have a proposal for your consideration tonight. Administration proposes increasing the base of the 2015-16 certified salary schedule by $200. The salary adjustment will be retro to July 1, 2015, and would be distributed in June 2016. And then the revised certified salary schedule would then be carried forward into the new school year. Be happy to answer any questions you may have on that.
Kelly, the experience increment, are there certain levels where that's a little different than?
There certainly are. It's not consistent all the way throughout the salary schedule. There are a few differences there. That's correct.
Any more questions about that? And we need to take action.
Make a motion that we approve recommendations for salary increases as read.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Owenby and a second by Mr. Williams to do the salary adjustments as we've discussed. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Board, I did not specifically mention it, other than for our classified staff members. Traditionally, the way our district has handled that is the salary schedules for our classified members are adjusted by the average increase for the certified staff, and this amount is rather small, as you know, $200, and that equates to about a third of 1%, 0.35, and we would make those adjustments effective at the beginning of the 16-17 school year. Any questions on the classified proposal?
Questions? Take action on this one?
I make a motion that we accept the changes in the classified staff salary.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Cook and a second by Mr. Williams to adjust the salary schedule for our classified staff. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The next item that I have for you, Board, is we have had 2 requests come into our district for the 16-17 school year. As you are aware, the school choice deadline was May the 1st, so any requests to come into our district after May the 1st would have to be acted upon by the Board. We do have documentation. Both of these students wish to come to us from the Fayetteville School District, and we do have documentation from Fayetteville that they are willing to release these students. So we would propose that these requests be granted.
I make a motion that we approve these transfer requests.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Cook and a second by Mr. Owenby to accept the 2 student transfers. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
The next item that I have for your consideration this evening is the proposed budget of expenditures for the tax year, or for, I'm sorry, the fiscal year 2017, July 1, 2017 to June 30, 2018. This is the beginning of the election cycle for this year, and so this is the process that begins that. We are required to publish this proposed budget, I forget, it's so many days prior to the election. I want to say it's 60 days prior to the election. And so what I typically do is I just look at the history of each of our funds and do the best I can to predict what our budget will be 2 years down the road. I can tell you that of these numbers that are listed here, they're all estimated except for the bonded debt payment and the non-bonded debt payment, and that is what it's going to be, I can assure you, unless something changes between now and then. Any questions? And also we have to publish what our millage rate is, and as you know, our millage rate is presently 40.5 mils, and it's not. We're not recommending any change to that.
Make a motion to approve the proposed budget of expenditures for fiscal year beginning July 1, 17 to 18.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Owenby and a second by Mr. Williams to accept the proposed budget of expenditures and tax levy for fiscal year beginning July 17. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor of this, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
4 down, 2 to go. The next item, the next item for you this evening is the building project's financial update. You will notice that Childress Knapp Elementary, we are closing in on completing that, and not only physically, but in paying for it. The School of Innovation, the Don Tyson School of Innovation, is coming along nicely. I went ahead and listed the Elmdale facade, although we haven't, well, I think I have made a payment now in the month of June, but as of May 31st, I had not made any payments. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Kelly, on that guaranteed cost, how much of that is state money?
Okay, on Childress Knapp,
Yeah.
I believe it's between 7 and 8 million.
And it's in that number.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Don Tyson, it's 9 million, over 9 million.
Are we on track on Childers Nap to be right where we need to be? We gonna be?
I anticipate we are.
Make a little money, say, don't know yet?
I don't know yet,
Okay.
but
You feel pretty good about it right now? though?
yes, I do.
All right. And we don't need any action. on
No,
that.
no actions on that. So, Board, the final item that I have for you this evening is our financial report through the month of May 2016. I would like to visit with you briefly on the revenue page. I'm sorry I don't have the page numbers in front of me, but I do want to visit with you for just a minute about our local tax collections. I think I've shared with you during the school year that I was a little concerned about our collections, but I was optimistic that we would move forward and hit our budget. Then the month of May came along. And last year, that's a big tax settlement month for us, and I was anticipating receiving approximately what we had last year, if not more, and that did not materialize. So basically, here's where we are at the end of May to meet the budget that I have that we have established for this school year. We need to collect about $4.1 million to meet our budget. And I'm talking about the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines here on your printout. I think that we're going to be close, but we're not going to quite make it. I anticipate having a shortfall, and that's a bad word, but a shortfall of around $375,000 is what I'm projecting over our budget. Dr. Rollins and I have been discussing this, and as you know, people will pay their taxes. They may not pay it when we like for them to pay them, but they will pay their taxes. So it's largely a timing thing, and so I would anticipate next year's collections making up for that. That I did want to point that out to you. I think overall we're still in good shape. It's roughly $375,000 out of $62 million I think that we have budgeted. So I'm still in the 99 plus. So.
We're going to be operating business as usual. That's not.
Oh, no, yeah.
And you still feel like it's going to come back regardless?
Well, it's just a timing thing. It's, our taxes aren't due until the fall. And so some people pay them in June, some people may wait till July. I mean, it's just so we will collect, it's just a matter of when. On the expenditure report, also good news there is that, well, I guess that wasn't good news on the revenue, but on the expenditure report, we are a little behind where we were this time last year on our expenditures, so that's good. We haven't spent as much, so I think the savings that we have on our expenditures will, I know it will, offset the shortfall in revenue, so we're in good shape.
The expenditures aren't going to catch up.
No.
Okay. That's good.
Nope. Unless something happens that I don't know in the next 2 weeks, we're in really good shape there.
If you don't know about it, I don't know who will. Board, do we have any questions for Mr. Hayes on the financial report? If not,
Make a motion we accept the monthly financials as presented.
Second.
got a motion by Mr. Owenby, a second by Mrs. Cook to accept the financials as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Batting 1,000. Good job.
Mr. President, it's a pleasure for me to introduce our new SEA president. This is, let me invite Ms. Julie Brown to come to the microphone. She's a teacher at Sonora Middle. Do I have that correct? Yes. We're glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Members of the board, thank you. It's an honor to be here tonight. The only presentation I have is myself. This was a little short notice, but I will be acting president for the SEA for this coming school year. I started my career here in Springdale a very long time ago, beginning in 1971, right next door, first grade. And I went on to Elmdale Central Junior High and graduated from Springdale High School.
That is great.
As a teacher, I came back and I have been at Jones and George Elementary, and I'm presently at Sonora Middle School. So I'm looking forward to a partnership, working with the board so that we can look out for the students of Springdale. Okay, any questions?
Good to have you on board.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Chris, as always, thank you as well.
Thank you.
We appreciate your great work. Mr. President, I believe that concludes our agenda.
Any signature? Okay.
That we do. Well, not too bad. That superintendent gets the
Kelly, the only reason the way this agenda comes up here, the way the agenda comes up on this PDF. Challenge, you can't read it, you can't.
go to the
So I couldn't question it.
partners, I think. Yeah. Shall I put them on your desk up there somewhere?
Property.
Are you going to be?
I'm good, how are you?
It's been a busy month, that's for sure.
You have had a busy month. I said you have had a busy month.
So you already kind of budgeted in.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
They keep telling me.
That'll work itself, that should work itself out if the assessed values went up.
It should, but, I mean, I'm not gonna jump out there on a limb next year and.
You need one, do you, kiddo?
Rates didn't go down and the assessments went up, so
Okay.
automatically.
Just the statement of assurance that
Black's okay?
black is fine, yes, sir.
Never, but, okay. See, we're collecting, every year we're collecting some current, some